Who is a skilled worker? Hello, how are you doing? Barnabas here. Hope you're doing well. In today's video, I'd like to answer two questions. Number one, what do we mean by being a skilled worker for the purposes of moving to Australia? And number two, I would like to tell you the third step to the process of moving to Australia as a skilled worker. But before I go ahead, please note that I'm not a registered immigration agent. What I'm going to discuss here today is general in nature and should not be taken as personal advice. If you're looking for a personal advice from an expert, please look for a registered immigration agent. If you don't have one, I'm happy to give you a reference. All right, having said that, let's go straight into it. Now, what do we mean by being a skilled worker for the purposes of moving to Australia? You remember when I talked about the first two steps of moving to Australia, the first one was checking your eligibility. And I said that you need to go to the immigration website and then look for a point calculator and put the information regarding your academic qualification, your work experience, and English capability, and your age. And you will get a score. And to qualify, your score needs to be 65 and above. And then I said, if you're eligible, the next step would be to go to the official immigration website, go to the code for your skill and check if you meet all the requirements for that skill. Now, the third step, after checking that you meet the requirements, would be to contact the assessing authority. Assessing authority is the body here in Australia which is mandated by checking whether the qualification for a certain skill meets the standard that is required here in Australia. For example, for accountants, it would be CPA Australia or VET-assess for internal auditors. Agricultural technicians, it will be VET-assess by this role to check that the qualification, the international qualification of a person meets the standard required here in Australia. For example, as a teacher who is teaching overseas, for you to qualify to teach in Australia, a body here will check your papers, will check your work experience and the level of your qualification, and will say, yes, this person is qualified and has got the standard of qualification, both academic and work experience, and also English capability, and is now able to teach here in Australia. So the third step, after checking that you're eligible and checking that you meet the minimum requirements for that skill, would be to contact the assessing authority. Before you even contact the assessing authority, it will be good to go to their website, check in the website, there are lots of details, all right? There are details regarding the cost of the application for assessment, all right? What will it cost you to do the application? There is also what is required in terms of documentation. What are you going to submit as evidence of your academic qualification, as evidence of your work experience, as evidence of your English capability, as evidence of your identity, all right, identification. Okay, so there is all this information in the website of the assessing authority. So if it is VET-assess, for example, go into the website and check. It will probably be a site where they tell you if you want information regarding immigrating to Australia, then you go to that site and it will direct you and it will give you all these documents, with information regarding how to apply, how much it will cost you, and so on. All right. So the third step, and this is very important, take your time and go to the website of the assessing authority for your skill. All right. It's different for each skill. And I've told you how to check it. All right. You will go to the immigration website and on the skill occupation list, type your skill there. If it is agricultural technician, if it is accountant, if it is general accountant, if it is internal auditor, if it is external auditor, if civil engineer, secondary school teacher, okay, whatever skill it is, type it there. Once you type it there, the information on the front page will have the code that takes you to the requirements for that skill, and also at the right at the bottom there will be the assessing authority and a link that takes you to the website for that assessing authority. It will be good to go to the website of the assessing authority and take your time to study what is required in terms of documentation, in terms of the course, before you start even applying. How much will it cost you? Now, let's answer the first question. What does it mean to be a skilled worker in Australia? What does it mean to be a skilled worker for immigration purposes? For me, it will be in two folds. Number one, you must have the required level of the academic qualification. All right. So if that skill require a minimum of an undergraduate degree, then a diploma will not suffice. Okay. So, for example, for teachers, if you go to the link, the code that takes you to the requirements, you will see that the minimum requirement is a degree. All right. So a diploma will not be enough. So you won't be skilled in that sense. All right. So the first thing is the level of your academic qualification. All right. So must be the minimum. Okay. And then there is the work experience. And the work experience must also be relevant to what you have studied. For example, if you have studied a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, and then you find yourself working in a bank, all right, the work that you've done in the bank is not relevant to what you have studied. So in that case, you cannot apply as a skilled finance expert, for example, with a qualification in Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, all right? So your work experience has to be in line with what you have studied. I give you an example. In my case, when I was doing my application, I submitted my papers to CPA Australia for a skilled general accountant. Little did I know that the amount of years of work experience that I had was very little, right, in terms of accounting. But I have a lot of experience in internal audit. Okay, so when I did that, they assessed and they said you don't have enough years of work experience as an accountant. All right, I had to withdraw that application and I reapplied as an internal auditor with VET-Assess. So it's important to know what is the relevant work experience that you have. Is it relevant to what you have studied? Okay, so you need to have that in mind. The second thing you need to know about work experience is what will qualify as skilled work experience is only the one that was done after your graduation. So let's say, for example, you started working before you qualified. So say you worked in accounts office for some time before you graduated, okay? That particular experience won't count as skilled work experience. It will only start counting when you graduate. You know, they deem, the one that is before you graduate as unskilled, all right? You started working before you graduated. So it will only count when you have acquired the required academic qualification, okay? So that's also something that you need to know. The third thing about relevant work experience is it needs to be at the right level, all right? Very junior staff work experience sometimes don't qualify. For example, in accounts, if you're doing account technician work, all right, it doesn't qualify to be work experience if you're nominating, for example, general accountant as your skill or internal audit as your skill. That very junior staff experience usually don't count, all right? It has to be in a very high level or management level, for example. So today, in summary, what we have talked about is number one, after you've checked your eligibility and you've checked that you meet the minimum requirement for that skill, then you need to go to the website of your assessing authority. And assessing authority differs from different skills, okay? All right. And so then you need to go to the website for your assessing authority and check details. There are lots of details there that will help you. And there are a lot of details there that will help you also to decide whether you want to go ahead or not in terms of the cost of your application, in terms of the paperwork required, and so on. You need to take your time to study what is required from the website of the assessing authority. And also we've talked about what it means to be a skilled worker in Australia. And we've said that number one, your academic qualification needs to be in the level that is required. And also your work experience needs to be in the level that is required in terms of: one, it has to be in management level, not junior level. Number two, it needs to be after your graduation, post-graduation. That's when it is skilled work, okay? Number three, it also needs to be relevant to what you've studied. All right, in light of what I've talked about today, do you think your academic qualification and your work experience makes you a skilled worker and that you're able to come to Australia as a skilled worker? Let me know in the comment section below. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Till next time, my name is Barnabas, the son of encouragement. Bye-bye and God bless you.